Hello, everyone. Hopefully my mic is working. Turn the radio down real quick. All right. Hopefully the radio is not too loud. Hopefully my microphone's working too. Double check all the settings and stuff here. Okay. Hello. I think it's working. All right. Sorry about the little tie up here, folks. I just want to make sure my headset's actually working here. There's really no way for me to know until afterwards. Turn my mic on. All right. We're just going to assume everything's working. Worked last time. So what I got here is a custom jungle base. Well, not jungle, actually. This is a kind of just woodland base. And what we got is a... Let me get the character real quick. So it's going to be kind of hard to get all in frame because I set the camera up to kind of film the base more than the character. But you can see here, the character is going to be kind of positioned like this on the base, stepping forward. Again, it's kind of hard to get it all in camera frame here, but you can kind of see he's going to be stepping forward, and I got all these like roots and thorns that are kind of going towards the camera right now. And the idea is that his staff is being raised and kind of casting maybe Entangle or Root or something like that, one of those druid spells. Also apologize too if the fans are a bit loud. Where I live, I can't have AC, like unless it's a internal thing and it's very expensive and yada yada. I just live with a bunch of fans on, so hopefully they aren't too loud. I normally turn them all off when I do like my video stuff. We can get started here. I can already tell I need to get more colors. I don't have all the colors that I want. Cool. All right, though. We're good to go, though. We are good to go. Start with some greens. You can tell I got a lot of green to do. Get a bigger brush, too, actually. With greens, my favorite thing to do with greens is mixing yellows, and if you have like a beige or an off-white, mixing that with green and the yellow, sometimes you can get like really cool colors. I use that a lot of times when I'm painting orcs. Of course, these are going to give you kind of brighter greens like the one I have here on my brush. As you can see there, kind of brightens things up a little bit. I'm going to do some of these roots or vines, whatever we want to call them. I'm going to do some of them green, maybe a couple brown. And I plan on getting color introduced. Of course, they're doing landscaping, some kind of landscaping work. Hopefully that's not coming through on the mic. I got like 5 different things going on audio-wise here, and hopefully it's not bogging the mic down, but anyways, start the greens. It's a little, I just made this, so there's like some blue streams I got to get rid of. There we go. the base colors here that you see, I just did like probably like in an hour. I just slapped a bunch of colors on, did some inks, had to build everything on here. It's a pretty quick process. But I figured since I gotta go in and make it look pretty now, I might as well do that on a live stream. People seem to like when you like kind of slow down and do the detail stuff. Always I like working with a lot of a wet brush. Big fan of that. Talk about it quite a bit on here. A little too much yellow on that one. That's why we like to water down so I can kind of just go in and erase it if I need to. That's why I always get so many paper towels all around the place here like this. A very useful thing to have. Ooh, it looks all right on the camera. I know I don't have the best camera in the world here. I don't know if having it further back looks better, looks worse, or what. Hopefully it looks somewhat better. Kind of need to have one of these over here. One day I'll get a better setup for all this stuff, but you know, we're kind of just starting out here, folks. Just starting out. And you can tell we're not starting out with the craziest of budgets. You know, we're humble. We're humble folk. But we make pretty cool stuff, I think, still. We need this big brush for everything. To you. Got a bit of a yellow flower up here. Show you guys what I'm working on here. Show you all the sides. Seeing a bit of purple with just purple with a small bit of yellow, kind of just to create a bit more of a neutral color here. Kind of go back in. I'm going to redefine later. Not a huge fan of it. It looks better on the leaves than the flowers, to be honest. So I think we're going to do it here. There we go. I don't quite like it on this one. Get rid of some of it. There we go. All right. Up. It's a bit of orange in there. There we go. More. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Just want to at least get some base colors on everything here. So I talked about it recently, and I had a bit of a passionate comment. It was actually pretty detailed. I liked it. I don't know how many of you guys played the tabletop game Star Wars Legion, but it had a very big change up recently in regards to its rules system. Oh, sorry. Hold on one second. Shouldn't have my phone on here, but I do. What can I say? Yeah, Star Wars Legion had a big rules change up recently, and I don't know. I'm not like the biggest fan of some of the stuff. If you saw my initial impression in video, they did announce some more content for the game, a couple of new ways to kind of play things as well. Some of that I liked, some of it I didn't really have too strong opinions either way. But I really like Legion as a game, and I hope my video didn't give an impression that I feel otherwise. But I really do hope for the best with these new rules. Like, I want the game to still be fun. I want to still be able to enjoy playing it, and like that's also why I'm like kind of passionate, I guess, or a little bit critical maybe with like how some of the rules look, at least on the surface, from my initial impressions and everything. But I still want it to be a good game, and I hope that that is the primary point that everyone is hoping for. And I did like the way the game was kind of originally too. So like I'm hoping they didn't really change it too much, because I'm not really trying to play like a completely new game. Part of the reason I got Legion was because I remember watching. I think it was like, I don't know, 6 years ago or something now. Like it was like the first impressions of Star Wars Legion, and it was like a Tatooine board and an Endor board, and I really can't remember what it was at. It might have been at it might have been at the Tabletop Expo thing that they just did recently, but I really feel like it wasn't. It was at something else. It might have been at Adepticon. I really can't remember, but it was like 6 years ago. And I mentioned him in the video, Alex Davey. Like, I remember watching him demo the games on those two tables and giving the breakdown of the mechanics and everything. And like, I really liked all of, like, the core mechanics of Legion, like, a lot. So, yeah, it's just the main reason I am kind of a little bit critical, and like I want the game to still kind of feel this way and stuff, like that I'm kind of talking about in the video. So yeah, I am hoping for the best when it comes to the future of that game. Sorry, hold on 1 second. There we go. Headset was acting weird. Sorry, folks. I hope the audio comes across okay and you're not getting drowned out by the radio or anything. Or the landscaping sound. I hear like them buzzing away out there on trees or something. Brightening some colors up. Maybe I do a couple of these brown. Bring them to the brown town. We will do this one. You know, not all tree roots are green. Come on, Cam. Some of them are brown. So what else? What else? What else? I made a post about it. I got the new Dwarf rulebook pre-ordered, folks. I'll be very excited to give a read through of that and my impressions on the book. I will say some of it got spoiled. I kind of mentioned they did show that Ungrim Iron Fist or Ungrim Iron Fist. I don't know why I always blank on his name for some reason. Ungrim Iron Fist can be taken for a Slayer army, which is pretty awesome. Although you can only take one Slayer unit for core, but I still think you could kind of build it up quite a bit and make it big enough that you could run appropriate sized army with it. I liked I saw too, again, sorry if I'm spoiling stuff before any of you get the book, but I didn't again read too much into any of this stuff, just a little bit. I also saw that he can be included in a unit of hammerers, and I like that because number one, it's an offensive unit, and that's kind of like the mentality of Slayers, and I think it kind of makes sense in that regard. But I also like it just because, like, I don't know, sometimes you have like wanted to make like a Slayer unit that like has armor or something, and like I know it's against the lore and stuff, but like I don't know, just like the concept of like an armored Slayer unit that like Ungrim could kind of be a part of, and they've got just huge axes and hammers to represent the two-handed that like the unit has. Like it gives like a lot of potential for making like a really cool, like just uber elite looking Slayer unit, in my opinion. And that's kind of what my mind was thinking about doing when I read those rules. So, like making a unit of hammers, but they don't have their helmets on. They all have like the Slayer mohawks or something. You know what I mean? Like that would be really cool. I think it would look really cool. But I don't know. That might have been Dwarven heresy that I just spoke there. So you'll have to tell me if you feel that way or not. You know, most people want their Slayers butt naked or as close to a little loincloth. Like, that's it. And mix this black with white. And we got some here. Probably going to keep this going for be like an hour, a little less, a little bit more. See how we're feeling. All right. Mixed it. We're going to use it. Some gray rocks scattered about. But we'll do like a greenish gray, I think. greenish gray rocks, some brown rocks. Yeah. Mixing it up. Some colors in there. Now I do want a yellowish green for this leaf. He says, I want to be a yellowish leaf. I will let you exist as such. All right. I don't want to make this one brown. I want to do some other color, but I think to balance out the brown here, I do need to make this one brown. Yeah. The actual base, like here, kind of area, once I get all the paint on, I plan to go back in and put like grass, maybe some like maybe a couple of little like rocks. I'm kind of already doing like foam rocks I cut out, but I might add a couple more rocks, some grass, some like kind of colored like leaf effect things. Like it'll have a lot more going for it, but I always like to do that stuff after I get all the paint on the base. So this is kind of like the first step that really needs to get finished before we get to all the little fun detail stuff. Sorry, I gotta pick it up here, folks. Get this part done here. I'm rotating. I'm rotating. I guess that wasn't the best camera angle. I thought I was giving you a nice clear view. Just gotta get all the under part of this plant root. There we go. Nice. All right, so now we got brown on both sides there. A little bit better focus. So yeah, excited to get my new dwarf rule book. I'm sure won't be for a couple weeks, maybe a month till that actually gets to me, but definitely get that posted. Been doing the Lustria, all that stuff. I plan on getting another video out for that. Like I kind of mentioned, probably either start of next month or very end of this month. Probably next month, more likely, just because I'm a little busy. Also have a Legion tournament that I want to play in that I'm not sure if it's using the new rules or the old rules yet, but I got to kind of get ready for that and take photos and everything for that and get it on the channel. So that's going to take a bit of time and yada yada. What else is going on? Oh, I also wanted to do a top 10 common magic items for Warhammer the Old World if you're a player in that game. That's a video that I got planned kind of coming out soonish. Either a top 10 or doing all the items on a tier list, but the only problem is they don't actually have like pictures associated with them, so like it might be a little weird doing a tier list of it because like you're really relying on the names and some of them are kind of long. And I don't know, I'll look at like the tier list maker and see if it's an easy thing to do, and if it is, I will probably get that video out next month sometime as well. That was kind of a cool idea. I did a top 10 of like 8th edition, my favorite common magic items. So I wanted to get my thoughts on it with Warhammer the Old World. Now, if you're a dwarf player, you won't be able to really use those, but still, most people will find the video applicable to their armies, I think. Alright. Oh, excuse me. Getting some blues on there now. But one of the people who gave me a comment on my video, he's a Republic player. It definitely seemed like his army got hit a little bit with the changes. I mentioned in my video, I looked at it and it looked like their identity kind of got swapped a little bit. I didn't know if that necessarily meant that they are just like completely uncompetitive or anything like that, but I'm guessing since he was like a tournament level player and that's his main faction and everything, he was probably looking at it a bit more seriously than me, and did not seem like he was too crazy with some of the changes that the faction got. But I know they've got some new releases around the corner at some point coming for Republic, and they did just get the Commandos, which I've actually yet to play with. I have that squad I painted up on the stream here, and I really want to get them on the table at some point, but plans going to change for that. My buddy who plays the game a bunch, unfortunately, had a tragedy where someone broke into the car that they had their models in that night and stole like pretty much all the stuff. He had some stuff inside, but he didn't unpack everything. And yeah, basically they like smashed the window and stole a bunch of his stuff. And definitely was a bit of a tragedy because he lost most of his Legion stuff, and he was kind of my main opponent for Legion. And still going to be playing in that tournament and get some content relating to it, you know, out there. But it definitely kind of stinks because he like just finished a bunch of pirates and stuff for like a Shadow Collective army, and yeah, like a Hondo proxy, a bunch of other stuff. I think I like featured the start of it in like a little skirmish game actually on the channel here, but yeah, basically he just finished it all and it all got stolen, and I definitely feel pretty bad about that. Definitely kind of stinks. Tried to help out. I gave him some new minis, some extra stuff donated to the cause and everything, but you know, it's like a whole collection and stuff. There's really no way to kind of replace that. So I don't know if any of you have had something like that happen to you. I am fortunate enough that I have not. I think I had one unit go missing one time or stolen. I can't remember exactly what happened to it, but that's like the worst I've ever had happen. I've never had a whole collection get destroyed or stolen or obliterated or whatever like he did. It's definitely a sad thing to have had happen. So just pause here. See, I've been going at this for probably 20, 30 minutes now. Some nice lively colors going on. Still got to paint the thorns and stuff on this fella here. This one here. But we're getting there. I like the colors that are evolving here. Playing with different shades of green and stuff. Sometimes I'm mixing a bit of orange in with the browns. I need differentiate purple mixed in. Nice, lovely day. Painting away. We need a darker green on this. Says I am a darker green and I like it. That's fine with me. Sometimes you gotta just kind of let the colors speak to you. I could tell this one was a darker green, that one was a bit of a lighter green. We gotta play towards their strengths. Okay. I kind of like that one. I'm like, do I paint over it? I guess not. Hell, I halted. I need a darker brown. My palette's a bit spent from yesterday. I kind of need to give these colors a refresh. Things kind of dried up. But I'm lazy and I don't want to do that while I got the stream going. So we're going to try to work with the limited palette that we got here until I decide it's time to take a break. There we go. Okay. Not bad. Would like a bit of a darker brown, but make do with our limited palette here. All right. What else do we gotta do? What else do we gotta do? Thorns on this guy, but what color do I want the plant to actually be? I definitely have a bias towards the brighter greens. If I have bright green kind of already here, probably would be a bit balanced out if I did do this a bit of a darker one. So I think we really should. I mean, it is kind of darker too in comparison to what the other ones were. So let's go with the darker green. This guy. If anyone's curious, like how I got all the stuff here, some of it is carved from foam. Most of it is basically 3D models that have been manipulated, modeled, or like um, I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on the terms and stuff here. Apologies. I'm not like a modeling expert, but basically what they are a bunch of different models that I've either made or I found or I have like stretched, manipulated, modified, whatever from different data banks and stuff, and then like basically gotten to look as close as I can to that style that Warcraft has. And yeah, then basically we just print it out and make it kind of try to all go together and look as close as possible to the video game as we can. Sometimes I like to do like a little bit of a clash of styles on these things, but this one I'm kind of doing with all stuff that looks like it's in the style of the game. And then yeah, if I didn't already mention it, sorry if I did and I'm repeating myself. This is the base for a Tauren Druid. I think with like level 80 gear or something. It's like the Lash Weaver set. I can't quite remember. I should because I've been designing and working and painting and doing tons of shit stuff on it for a while now. But yeah, I think it's like the Lash Weaver set. It's like a level 80 set, maybe PvP set. Can't wait to recall. Um, I didn't. Wrath is kind of where I dropped off. Class like the original game is where I really kind of like Warcraft. I also like the strategy game versions, Warcraft 3. Played a bit of Warcraft 2, but I was really young at that time. 3 is the one I really loved. But yeah, this is the base for that Druid character, that Tauren Druid, and obviously he's like I kind of mentioned. I think I mentioned at the start. He's casting like Entangle or like Root or whatever, and like all these plants are kind of just growing and lunging forward this way. And the character has his staff kind of pointed this way too. So you know the idea is like they're going at whatever his target is. So. Sorry, I know the radio actually might be. I don't know why all the landscaping and other sounds got quiet, and now I can hear the radio, and I'm like, oh, geez, that's too loud. I don't know what the rules are for YouTube, like when it comes to like music and stuff like that. I want to like have music actually like going during these things, but I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble or what. So figure I'll just play it safe and kind of just have it low in the background. Probably not really there for now. I'll watch a couple of streams. I've been trying to watch a couple of painting streams and stuff, but most of the time they're kind of just someone chit chatting like I am. I don't really hear much music. Maybe like a loop background kind of thing, but that's about it. Which the radio pretty much is, if I'm being brutally honest. It's pretty loopy. It's like the same songs every like 2 hours. Got paint on almost pretty much everything here already. That's nice. Hopefully it looks a little brighter on the camera. Here in person, it definitely does, I will say. I I need to get a color. Dang it. All right. They got me in a trap, folks. I got to get a new color. Leave this in frame here. Be right back in 1 second. All right. There we go. I want to do the thorns in like a whitish color, so doing mummy robes. It's a little bit slightly off white here. All right. The thorns I'm talking about, like, come in. There we go. Thorns on this guy. He's got a ton of them. Like one there, there. So just want to get all those. But hopefully it's looking like it has brightened up a little bit since I first started painting on this, because it definitely is in person. Strange little plastic thing there. I don't know what that was. A little lighter. All these little thorns here. So there we go. Yeah, now you can see them there too. You gotta get one side and then the other. Bum, 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 bum. After I get all the paint on here, and then I get the grass and stuff glued on, we're gonna look at it, and if it feels like it just looks like the base is kind of like an overgrown jungle area, then maybe what I'll do is I'll add a couple of bigger roots or vines, whatever you want to consider it. I'll add a couple more big ones that are kind of coming towards the target, and I feel like that'll just kind of solidify the whole theme of it. I asked the person basically that like commissioned it. I was like, "Do you feel like it conveys like that whole theme and stuff of like either entangle or root kind of growing off the base and like heading towards the target?" And he said yes, like it looks good and like it doesn't need any more on here. But again, I'm gonna kind of look at it afterwards, and I don't want to like go against like the person that's paying me to actually like paint this and everything for them, but I do just want to make sure like that theme is clear. So I'll probably like show them a picture and stuff too and be like, what do you think and stuff, like, does it still look good? But it's just something I'm kind of thinking about. It was an idea I had early on when they mentioned they wanted a druid character, and they weren't doing like a shapeshift form or anything like that. They just wanted to kind of be out and about casting a spell or something. I was like, oh, well, this is a cool spell because it ties so effectively to the base. So I just want to make sure that theme is clear. Got one more here. Okay. Nice. All right, we got white on all the spikes there. As you can see, lovely. Lovely, lovely. Just want to make sure we get all the sides. All right. Now, the first part was going to be doing this base here, and then I was going to get a little bit of detail work done for the stream on the actual character. I thought this would take a little bit less time, and I would be able to get like 30 minutes of this and then 30 minutes of the character, but it's not looking like that is the case. So I might only be doing like 10-15 minutes of detail work on that lad. But I do want to get that set up just so you can see the character on the camera here. So let me Well, we got the whites done again on the base. Everything's looking much nicer now in this. Quite happy. Cool. Once everything's all done drying, I might do one more layer on this. But once everything's done drying, I'll leave some surface area of this base, but a lot of this here is going to get all covered up in like grass, dirt textures, maybe a couple of leaves, and like whatever kind of else I feel like is like appropriate kind of foliage for this jungle overgrown foresty kind of base thing with entangling roots coming towards the target. So let me go get the character, set him up on here. Be right back. I should be able to bounce it off this. I don't have a holder for this guy. I was actually working on that base, and then I had to do this. I'm going to move the camera up just a little bit so I can keep him in frame. There we go. Cool. We've done a little bit of work on the base. I'm going to take a 5-minute break here. I'm going to write a thing out on the computer, and then we will do, I'll go a little bit over my estimated time limit here. I'm probably going to do like 10, 15 minutes on him, go a bit over an hour, and then I will be done with the stream for now. We'll probably be working on blending a couple of the whites like here better with the character on the ear. I need to actually paint the eyes at some point, but I might have to do that later. I have to do a red ink on all of these teeth here. Sorry, these teeth here. These all need a red ink from the tip of the tooth kind of going downward or upward, depending if it's the top row or the bottom row. I noticed on the actual shoulders, basically, there's like a blood kind of red effect going on from like the tooth, like this area down to here. So, like I said, I want to get like a bit of a red color ink kind of going on, like on the tips here, and have it fade into the actual like color that I already put on there. So I think I'll try to get that done at the very least on the camera, and then maybe blending the ears a bit. Wait, oh gosh, yeah. I always go a little bit over what I'm expecting, but what can I say? I will be right back. 5-minute break, and then we will get that done, hopefully, within my time limits. I gotta go work and stuff later on here. So unfortunately, I only have so much time. I'll be right back, folks. All right, folks, I'm back. I don't think it was 5 minutes, but maybe it was. So I got a red wash, well, a flesh wash, but it's a bit reddish. I don't know why. It's like it always comes out a bit red tinted. um, I'm gonna try using this. I don't know if it's gonna give me the results that I'm kind of looking for. So what I have a feeling I'm gonna need to do is basically just do a really watered down version of this red and basically use it as a pseudo ink to get the effect that I want on these teeth. But we'll give this a try real quick and see how it looks. Apologies, I didn't really plan the camera out for the upward view of my character here. I would have done a better angle if I did. Let's just try a little bit of this stuff. I have to shake it up, of course. All right, there we go. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to give me the effect I really want. I might have to just mix a little bit of this. Yeah, it's way too weak. I think also the pigments just sat like separated from the ink or something. It's just really kind of weak. Let's try mixing a bit of red. See if it gives us what we're looking for. It's close. Let's see. How does it look on the actual mini, though? We'll try on this tooth here, just for the camera. That's not bad. That is not bad. Perfect, actually. All right, nice. We're in business, folks. Wanted to make sure I had the microphone on. I was like, that be my microphone. All right, a bit of this mixed with a bit of red. It's giving us the effect we want. And again, just in case you're skipping around on here, these shoulder pads that this character has, they have like these, like kind of like, it almost looks like bloody teeth when you look at the very tip of them. And I did a bit of like a dark red, purple kind of right on the tip. And I want a bit of a fade into that. So we are going in and we're doing this ink color very lightly, just around the teeth and stuff here. I'm actually going back in. I'm taking some away just because I really don't want there to be a ton. It's a really subtle thing that I like barely noticed on the actual shoulders, but it is there and it's on like every tooth. He's got a tail. It makes it hard to balance him, but I want him to be on camera for you all. That's a bit of a better angle there, hopefully. I can't really put him in like a grabby thing, you know, or like one of those little holders. Okay. Just doing the back side now because these teeth are on both sides. There you go. Top row, bottom row, both sides. Expected. Now it's looking a little too strong. I'm just going to go in and do this. I think either way, I am going to have to go back in here and get these teeth one more time. Everything on these shoulders needs to have, it basically needed like a jungle green or earth green or brown like tint to it. Nothing's like kind of like a pure white. So that extends to the teeth here. These teeth aren't white or like even an off white. They're like an off white mixed with like a green. So it kind of makes sense that even this red, it's got more of a brown red kind of mix to it. One part's being a little weird right there. Some print thing that happened. I'll have to go in later. All right. I'm going to get his backside. Flip it around. You can all see his lovely back. You'll have to tell me in the comments. I think that, again, this is called the Lash Weaver set. I don't play druids. I really like this, like one of the few classes I've never really played around with in World of Warcraft. I will say though, that at least when I used to play, like I said, the older editions of Warcraft, druids were one of these classes that if you played them, a lot of people kind of sucked with them. I don't know how else to say it kindly, but a lot of people back in the day, they used to play druids and they were bad with them, and it kind of showed, and it gave the class, I think, a bad reputation because when you had someone who actually did know how to play this class effectively, it you realized how high the skill ceiling was for it because you needed to know how to use like every single thing available in the druid toolkit, and it's definitely, I feel like, probably the most extensive toolkit in the game. So like in order to gain that level of mastery is like just so hard. And I think a lot of people back in the day when they played druids, they just were incapable of reaching that skill ceiling. And because of that, the class, at least back when I used to play, it used to get a really bad rep. Like it just couldn't do certain things. It just couldn't keep up. I was a big PvP guy, and I remember that being like a sting. Oh, Druid's just like, yeah, you could do like this cat form thing and like get a really quick burst, or like I think there's a moonkin blast down burst or something build, but like they're always kind of gimmicky, and like a mage or someone else could just do the same thing but better and this and that. Like so they definitely had a stigma in PvP as well. But when you were fighting, especially even like 1v1s, and like you went up against a druid who like really knew their game and stuff, and like how to manipulate every aspect, and they knew the class matchups really well. Like you could tell like that there was this insane skill behind it, and like there was honestly not much that a lot of times you could do when they could play at that level. It would just whittle you down, and like there was really no hope unless like you could get a quick burst in during like certain windows and stuff. At least the classes that I played. So you can see here that that blood red tint that we managed to get now in all of the teeth, which is pretty awesome. Quite happy with that. Gone over my hour limit, of course, but you know, can't be too disappointed with the progress already made here. I am going to try to blend these ears really fast on camera. Just need to get a gray tone mixed in. And then I will be done with my little live stream here. To give some closing thoughts while I do this, I mentioned it earlier in the video. I am going to be, I may be traveling around a little bit, number one, these next couple weeks. So you might not see some content for a week or two. Don't worry, I'm still kicking and going to be planning more stuff for the channel. I just going to be traveling. I am organizing my own event that I've talked about on the channel. I'm supposed to be playing in a Legion event that I've also mentioned in the video in the channel as well. I might have to be learning like a whole new rule set in regards to that for Star Wars Legion, and that's going to be kind of a whole thing as well. So yeah, like I obviously want to document that, and I got to document like the Warhammer games being played and stuff too. So that's all going to take a little bit of time, and I know oh, also too, I'm not 100% sure, I might be getting in a bolt action game with my dad. I've got most of the German forces finished up over here on my desk, and most of the British forces for the Battle of Africa starter set that I've talked about. So we might be playing that pretty soon, and I also want to document that. I have a top 10 common magic items list video that I really want to do for fantasy that I've mentioned briefly. And I think that's most of the content that I've kind of got planned, at least for the next month or two. So you heard it here first, what my plans are. I also had plans too. I saw that I went over 100 people on my like subscribers list, and I was like super happy about that. We might even hit 200 if we're fortunate enough over the next couple weeks or so. And I figured like at each of those milestones, I kind of wanted to do like a little thank you to the community type thing, and like try to paint up a figure and like name it after someone in the community, and get them involved in like little like games that I play, and battle reports and stuff. Get people basically featured in the battle reports as characters or figures to keep an eye out for. I'll try to kind of mention them during the battle reports. So I really want to do that too. And I know I went over the 100 subscriber like a little while ago. So that's a video that I also had planned, and or a miniature kind of project I had planned as well. So that's something to keep an eye out for as well, because I really do want to do that and not just like have it kind of be one of those ideas that gets pushed aside. It would be very cool. And if one day I get enough people and stuff, I might do like a Patreon thing in like this arena. I thought this would be really cool, where like we do like an arena fight to the death in like different tabletop games, and you can like design your own characters to like fight in the ring, and like see whose character builds like are the most dominant in the arena, to like someone else comes up with a better one. But again, this is like all far into the future stuff. So, you know, I still gotta like build up my quality of videos and my setup and all that. I want you guys to have like a nice viewing experience, obviously, here when I do like these little paint things. But I think it's important just to get some of these videos kind of rolling out and get my thoughts and opinions on what's going on, and updates of the channel and all that jazz. So I figure I might as well start somewhere. But We've almost got these ears completely done here. I've got, again, just to show you one more time here on the camera, we got the teeth for this fella's shoulder pads with that red effect there that I was looking for. Kind of like, even though it's like a plant-like shoulder, it seems to have taken a bloody bite out of something, which is kind of cool. And yeah, again, it's a really kind of faint effect, but you can see the red there on the end of all the teeth. I think that looks really cool. And again, I don't even know if the person who's going to get this, like, you're going to notice these types of things. I hope they do, because these little details take some time. But yeah, we got that done. The base for this guy too, I don't know. Let me just double check. Everything should be dry on here. I would love to get this on the camera before I go. So yeah, it looks pretty dry. So you can see here what I was talking about with kind of the whole roots, plants, and everything going on there. You can see the staff and everything. Pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, we got the whole base done today too. I'm definitely happy about that. Just take them off so you can actually see the base and everything too. Yeah. More done than I expected. I'll say that. Say that much. Anyways, folks, it's going to just about wrap this up. Hope you enjoyed. Found it entertaining at the very least. Let me know if you got any comments on my thoughts and opinions that I've listed during the stream. Have a great day. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.